10 invisibility spells and 8 super yetis might just be the easiest strategy I've ever found. So let's dive in and see this video. Okay guys, here we are on the strategy and look at this. We got 2 main troops, that's it. That's all it takes to triple a Town Hall 17, and this is actually easier than Dragon Attack. I know a lot of you love to go with those invisibilities into dragons because you think they are the easiest because you can spam them and you can get the triple, but they are baitable. They can get baited if you have not been doing a very good RC, or even if you didn't get too much value with the RC. So on this attack, I'm going to show you on my friendly basis how to triple the Town Hall 17 layouts, and obviously the pet combination looks a bit weird because we're gonna have the Sneezy with the king. This makes sure so whenever you pop your queen ability, because they're both gonna be in the core, guys, you cannot believe what this strategy is all about. Obviously there are gonna be timestamps lower, but I want to explain the army itself before we dive into the attack. So if you want, we can make sure you skip through this, but let me tell you this. First, we're gonna have an RC walk anywhere on the base, literally anywhere, and once it's done, I would suggest you to keep 1 or 2 invisibility. You don't have to go with full 10 invis on your royal champion. We're gonna recall her and drop her opposite side of where she was with the rocket spear ASAP to get the funnel. That's just the RC work. We'll get to that a bit more in the attacks. But the warden and the queen and the king, there are 3 of them are gonna go into the base with Titan and 6 super yetis. 2 of the super yetis will be with the kind of the what you even call the siege barracks on the outside to make sure the funnel is set, and 6 yetis with an electro titan, warden, queen and king will go in. Now how you want to pop these is whenever you drop the queen right behind your main army, you want to pop her ability. You're gonna get the action figure also adding to this army, which with the combination with the yak, boys, it's crushable. Literally, no matter how many walls they have, they can literally just run through the base, especially with the king earthquake boots. So you have no issue with the walls anymore. Now with the queen, the healers will come out, so you're basically gonna have 3 healers behind your main army. So that's why we're gonna have the Sneezy with the king to make sure it brings those kind of, I would say, boogers to test for traps for those little healers that you have. And yeah, obviously if you have the Sneezy kind of upgrading currently, you can go ahead and run the Phoenix. We don't have the Phoenix in this army, or you can run the Phoenix with the royal champion in case you have the fox still upgrading. If you are new and you've just not been in the game for a long time and you're looking for an easy army, this is how you can run it. You can run the Phoenix with the RC as well, but this is the majority part of the strategy. For the clan castle, we're gonna have those furnaces because they can stay back, bring those extra, I would say, army extra damage to the back end of the base, which we will see very soon. So let's dive into the attacks because I just made this clan. By the way, don't forget to use code blue, and I failed once because the RC was just absolutely cooked. So then I did 4 attacks and look at this, literally back to back. So I'm not gonna sit here, do 100 friendly challenges and bring you the 4 that worked. I'm bringing you the 4 exact ones that actually just was the only 4. It's crazy. So let's dive into the first attack, and here we have a core town hall with double poison. Now what I usually tend to do on these bases, I really want to get the RC funneled into one of these, like, I would say, whole sides. We're not going to look at this side or this side. These are the 2 sides that are a bit more, making sure they're in between those 2 mirrored side of the base. You want to get one side of the mirror. Let me tell you like this, it's easier to understand it. So once you do, once RC walk is around, I would say maybe 1 or 2 invis left, maybe 1 is enough. Sometimes it's good to have 2 depending on how much value you're getting. And by the way, because we're close by to the town hall, I'm just back-to-back invisibility. It's not like I'm doing anything crazy with the 4-second timer. I want to be as regularly attacking as possible because a lot of you out there may not really do too much of a crazy RC walk. You want to be simple. So 2 invis left, even though we could have maybe even got more value. So we're going to recall the RC. Now the other side of the base, I'm going to drop the siege barracks with 2 super yetis on both sides to try to get the funnel, and this is where you can then start your army into this side of the base. But RC will get dropped on this side to get a few extra defenses from the main army, so the main army stays in the base and doesn't completely go to the outside. Take a look at the funnel. And now this is where we had those invisibilities reserved, because once the RC moves forward, you want to have a little bit of another RC charge, but a bit more like a walk on the outside. So now King ability crushing everything, and we don't even have the Eternal Tome on this attack. I know the Eternal Tome is soon to get nerfed, but let's see how this is gonna do, because we got Raid Gem and the Life Gem on this attack. And look at the Sneezy with those boogers. Look at the furnaces coming through. How many Super Yetis we have with a lot of heroes. This army, we didn't do much. We literally just RC walked and spammed everything into the base with slight bit of funnel. But guys, I'm telling you, it's crazy crushing. Look at the amount of Super Yetis. It's unbelievable how this army works and how it can be defended. I actually don't know. But let's go out. We're going to go to another base. And by the way, the last two attacks are going to be the same base that people are running in High Legends currently, but with a twist. So one thing I did on this attack was, this base is in a way that if you drop the RC on the top side, these two defenses will drag her to the left, but then you want to make them invisible, but then there's a sweeper, so she may then get dragged into the town hall. And because there is nothing here, we didn't know there is a Tesla, the RC will not go to the side mirror. If you guys remember, I talked about the mirror. If you make the base in half, this is the other mirror. You want to get one of these sides at least. And I was going with a mass invis, like one invis on this side, then the RC to go for the Inferno, so she can get decent value. If she choose the left side, it's fine. We can go opposite side of the town hall, just like we did kind of on the last attack. If she choose to go to the right side, we can spam everything into this builder hut and the town hall area anyway. But notice this again, my RC charge a bit more further is going to be a bit wonky, and it's absolutely no issue. You literally doesn't have to have the perfect RC charges or RC walks. Even here my RC is switched, kind of crazy. But still, we're going to pull the CC and we don't have any poison, which is completely fine again. As I said, the army is so easy to use. Now I'm going to do one more invis. We want to get rid of the headhunter, and once I see RC is going to the town hall, I could have kept that invis honestly, but I managed to just drop it for some reason. I don't know why, but I could have kept it. Opposite side of this entry, we're going to have two Yetis and the siege barracks. Make sure you also drop the RC to make sure the funnel is set perfectly. Once the RC is being dropped, or once you drop your troops, you can drop the RC just back and forth, up to you depending on the base and the damage. So everything spamming. Unfortunately, we're gonna lose on that super wall breaker because of the ice golems, but look at this RC with that invisibility. She just got into the army now, but we're gonna dive into the town hall, and we now have the yak. We do also have the giant from the queen that is going to be kind of needed. We had the king ability to open the base. And look at this, guys, I'm gonna pause this. The Yetis haven't even got to the point to crush the base, but the base is already gone. This is what I mean when I tell you a strategy is simple and it's spammy. So as I said, I don't think there is anything close to being easy as this one. So you just have to get a bit more practice done. But the most important thing about this army is the equipment. Obviously, a lot of you have already maxed these two equipments. A lot of you have already probably have these two equipments above level 21, which is the key thing. And with the Warden, a lot of you have it. It's not like a level 27 fireball. You have these two equipments upgraded since the beginning. They are common, only level 18. And with the queen, the only problem is the giant and the action figure, basically, because not a lot of people have it upgraded. So the level you need it to be is most likely 18, because the giant is not the main thing to finish the base. This giant is literally, I think, full HP. You don't necessarily need the giant, but it's crazy heavily how it helps the army break through those walls for the entirety of the base. As I told you, the army is just too powerful to control it. Now, let's go back to my last base. It's gonna be a core town hall, double poison, super heavy monolith area. This entire area is baited for a lot of entries. Gaku currently is running this base in Legends with a few tweaks, and as I said, this base is really good. I believe this was one of Itsu's bases that I think he uploaded like maybe a month ago, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think that's it. So what I'm doing on this base, because of the way the mirror on this base is a bit more messy because of these empty areas that people like, you know, tend to put between town halls, I really want to get one of the sides of the base like this, so then we can spam everything into this little compartment and get the value with the Super Yetis. But this is the tweak: you don't have to have the same plan over and again, because I've hit this space with two completely different approaches. One of them is going to be this. Now look at this, RC got like 15% of the base. I know a lot of people put strategies out there with RC, or for example furnaces, getting 70% of the base or 60% of the base and telling you an army is broken. But no, we are going through 85% of the base with the majority of the army. That's why I'm saying it's really good. Unfortunately here I popped the king very early because I'm really impatient sometimes, so the wall to this compartment didn't get open, which is, as I said, unfortunate, but no worries. The boogers and the sneezies tanking for the healers beautifully. We're gonna have troops to go into the next compartment, some archers on the lower side to clean up. RC still alive. This is why I told you, keep some invisibility spells when you're doing the RC charge in this attack, so you can have her protected a bit more later throughout the base. One thing about this entry that I had, and I wasn't actually sure to do it, was that the troops did die out a lot more because, well, the back end was a bit more heavier. We had two heroes, as you can see, like the furnaces are just hitting these heroes. They are not hitting any expos or anything. But we are also low on time, which was one of the other issues. But don't worry, we have another approach on this base that I can show you. And I actually used, I believe, 2 invisibilities just to redirect the RC. Unfortunately, man, look at this queen. There's literally 3 very low walls right there, but she chooses the most HP wall out of all. Insane. But this is gonna be, as I said, a bit more closer than the other attacks, and you know, honestly, it is what it is. Triple is a triple, but the strategy is really simple to do, and it's basically for everyone. If you don't have the action figure, I would suggest you to go with Frozen Arrow, because most of you probably have it and it's probably upgraded, because all you need to do is to drop that queen, pop the ability, get the healers ready to go, and the queen can actually do a lot with the Frozen Arrow throughout the base, especially with the extra damage it does. But let's move out and go to my last attack. Again, the same base, but this time I'm gonna give you exactly what I told you, the mirrored attack. We want to get one of these sides and spam into the middle with the other funnel side of the base. Obviously that's the main goal. So what I'm gonna do, to drop 2 invisibilities just for the RC to path on this side. We don't want her to go into the monolith. Unfortunately, as I said, the bases are really well designed, so the way the RC is gonna always choose the right, even though you make it invisible, is crazy. Headhunter is coming through. I don't know how much more it can come through, but look at my invisibility, man. I'm just dropping it back to back. We literally didn't get much. Look at this. This is a regular 5 invisibility RC charge, but look at the rest of the base. We're gonna get everything with the troops. This is something that it's been missing in Clash of Clans, obviously. A lot of you know that the equipments are the ones that do the job. If you do a little fireball on this Inferno, that base is basically gone, no matter what strategy you do after that. So, spamming everything in, you can see with the Sneezy on the king, we have the king to go into the base, raging early, wall breaking early, RC on the top side to get defenses, Super Yeti to funnel. You can see how everything perfectly coming together, so we can go into this base with these Yetis. And as I said, once you go inside around the core and you pop the king ability, it's done. There is nothing the base can technically do to stop you. Now, watch the RC on the top side. We're gonna have her kind of a bit more invisible so she can move forward. Warden ability, whenever you want, you can pop it just to get some extra boosts on your troops. It's nothing too crazy, so if you don't pop it, it doesn't matter too much. But look at this, man. We went with another whole approach, another side of the base, different entry, and we still got the triple on one of the hardest bases currently in Legends League. And I know like a lot of people may crush this base already, but you've probably done a lot of attacks to it, and it may not be as easy as this one to drop those Yetis really early on and just pray that it will be a triple. That is how strong this strategy is. Obviously you have the furnaces at the back, whatever it's, you know, kind of left at the end of the base, they can get it for you. Or Sea alive, King alive, even though we have no Phoenix on the King, but the King is alive. It's crazy, right? I'm telling you, man, the strategy is too powerful. As always, the link of it will be down below in the description. If you guys know any other really simple strategies with the Super Yeti, let us know down below in the comments. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe this is not the easiest, but this is definitely the easiest that I've seen, so it's kind of crazy. As always, hope you guys enjoyed this video and see you soon later in the future. Take care and peace.